And we're back. This is Austen, and this is Trash Talk, the podcast where we talk movies, comic books, TV shows, and games, all while drinking. And I'm here as always, or not always, but most times, my co-host Travis. Travis, what's up?
Same as always.
I got to see Shazam today.
I did, actually.
I
You
got to
got to
see
see
it.
yesterday.
Yeah, I got to see it yesterday, and this is our Shazam themed episode. We're going to be talking to some Shazam. We had some people that also mailed in like they put in an envelope, mailed us. No,
We're old
emailed
school,
us.
bud.
Facebook messaged us some Shazam related questions, so I'm going to read those aloud. And we also have some other fun stuff. We have the Joker trailer to talk about. You didn't actually see it.
No.
All right, well, we'll pause it while we get to that part. If it, we'll watch it, and then we'll come right back to it.
Good plan.
And we also have some Daredevil scoop news. So Daredevil, the 3 seasons that are on Netflix, all the Netflix superhero shows were canceled. Rest in peace. I had a insider scoop from somebody who actually worked on the shows who answered a couple questions about some nice warm questions about the cast, who seem to be very nice people, very cool people to work with, and also some sad news. And we'll talk about that later. But mostly this show is all going to be about Shazam. So, Travis, are you ready for some real news and fake news?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sounds like fun.
Alright, so we always open up before talking about our main topic of the week with our real news and fake news section. 4 pieces of news, 1 is fake. Travis has to guess which one is real. Alright, starting with number 1.
You mean which one's fake?
Yeah, what did I say?
Which one's real? Because there's going to be 3 real ones, so...
Oh, maybe I'll change up. Maybe only 1 is real. No, alright, you got to guess the fake piece of news. Number 1, Travis, we got some James Cameron news. So we had, what was that, a couple weeks ago? No, it's actually much more than a couple weeks ago. We had some James Cameron news with him and his, many, 5 different Avatar sequels he's planning.
Oh, yeah, and some other stuff that he's got in
The
potentially
man's a
in the works.
machine.
Yeah.
Apparently, the man is so dedicated to his craft that crew members, when they go and take a piss break or use the bathroom, sometimes he fires people for just going to use the bathroom.
I mean, can you blame the guy? He's on a very tight schedule. He can't... Ain't nobody got time for them piss breaks.
Yeah.
Nobody.
You got 4 Avatar sequels to make.
Yeah, you can't... Nobody can take a piss break whatsoever.
Alright, well, the man is known for many things, but he's especially known for bringing in the money. The money, baby. He's made Titanic, which at one point was the highest grossing film of all time, before it was beat by a film called Avatar, which he also directed. Apparently, he didn't take Titanic because he wanted to do it. Here's the news. Apparently, James Cameron, he loves going underwater. He made a film, I think it's called Into the Deep or Into the Blue. I need to see it.
It's actually kind of good.
Oh, you saw it? What's
Yes.
it called?
If you're talking about Into the Blue, Into the Deep.
Oh, it's Into the Deep? Oh, okay. Well, he did that.
Or Deep Blue?
Maybe Deep Blue. I don't know.
I know which one, I believe I know which one you're talking about. There was a couple different blue-based...
Yeah, there's a lot of movies
movie
for that, yeah. Avatar, one of the sequels, is probably going to have a lot of water, it seems. He made Titanic. He loves water for some reason. And he loves spending time and money going underwater. At one point, he was the first person to go, the farthest beneath the ocean in real life. And apparently, the only reason he took the Titanic job was because he wanted an excuse for the company, the movie production company, to fund a trip so he can go visit the actual Titanic in real life.
Can you really blame the guy? Would you not want somebody to pay for a trip to go see the Titanic?
Oh yeah, that's dope. That's so cool. I just find it hilarious that's the only reason he took a movie that turned out to be the highest grossing film of all time.
But that's the legend that he is. He could do that like a boss and come out on top.
Yeah, wow, what a legend. Alright, number 2. Disney has been laying out its plan. They unveiled at Comic-Con all the films they have planned that's coming out this year and next. Apparently, X-Men Apocalypse and New Mutants is on the docket. But that's not what we're talking about for our real news and fake news.
X-Men Apocalypse already came out, bud.
Oh, the X-Men, whatever, the other one that's coming out soon.
Phoenix or whatever?
Sure, whatever. Phoenix reboot, no one cares. But they have gave assurance that there is a future for them to be making Planet of the Apes and Alien films, which were last time they were made by Fox.
Oh, okay.
So apparently those aren't dead in the water.
Yeah, no, So, like, they're going to continue with the Alien franchise that's been going on that's kind of sucked, the Prometheus, or
Yeah,
they
the
actually.
Prometheus. They're going to allow Ridley Scott to finish off his Prometheus trilogy that no one gives a shit about.
Okay. Because I was hoping they're actually going to try to do a reboot
A
of the
reboot.
original
No.
Aliens, or, like, do something off, based off where they
I
left
find
off.
it so weird that usually when a director comes back to a franchise, he makes it better. But Ridley Scott, James Cameron made the second Avatar film, not Avatar, Aliens, which is really good. Aliens is amazing.
Yep.
And the first Alien is amazing too. That was made by Ridley Scott. But he's come back and he's made these Prometheus films that apparently aren't very good. And I've never heard anyone say they enjoyed them.
No, I mean, just look at the trailers. I genuinely don't want to watch them.
Yeah, I love the Alien franchise. I love Aliens and Xenomorphs as a concept, but I never really cared or had an interest in seeing these new ones.
Yeah, no. And so the fact that they're going to keep going with it, kudos to them, but please stop.
And they're also working on Planet of the Apes films.
Which has
apparently.
actually been, I mean, I guess I preferred the first one out of the new lineup they have, but the second one wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, I like the second one. And the third one apparently is also really good too. And apparently they wrapped that very well. I'm not going to spoil for you because I know how it ends. But apparently they wrapped up that trilogy very well.
And they're just going to go off that, or are they going to start something new?
I assume they're going to keep going off that.
Makes sense.
But yeah, that's number 2. Number 3. So here is an actual quote an Arrow producer said. Going off, we'll see if at this point this episode gets released, but we had an episode where we talked about Zack Snyder's ridiculous quote where he starts talking about people living in a fucking dream world. Well, we got an Arrow producer talking some Arrow. Here's what he said, Travis. Arrow is miles better than Game of Thrones, and they have actually...
Could I pause you right there? How much weed did he smoke before he gave this quote?
and they have actually built a better universe compared to the MCU. and says just because we don't get to see it on the big screen doesn't mean we're not better than Marvel. On a side note, I'm going to end this by saying Arrow is ending this year due to low ratings.
Yes. Alright, I will admit, back when Arrow first came out, it was very new, very fantastic, and it came off with a pretty good start.
Yeah, definitely.
It had an okay run for a couple seasons, I'll say.
Yeah.
And then it went very downhill very fast.
And they're on their like 8th season at this point.
And nobody watches it.
Yeah, no one's watching it, which is why they're finally ending this.
Yeah.
I do give them credit because a lot of all these superhero shows that are coming out nowadays, they kind of owe credit to Arrow.
Yeah, they definitely do because of their strong start and what they were able to accomplish, which I respect them for. I'm not going to say it's just still good. Because even, to be honest, even Flash for me has gone a bit downhill from where it used to be.
Yeah, sadly.
DC Legends Tomorrow started off okay and has just stayed as...
Have you seen the the Legends of Tomorrow news that's coming out?
No, I've not.
So Legend of Tomorrow started off fairly serious enough for a team that travels through time.
Yep.
But apparently they are embracing, some people like it, some people don't, the campiness to it, and they're going full ridiculous. There's an episode, Travis, where all the characters are turned into puppets. There's a major character on the show that is an actual teddy bear, and it turns into like a Godzilla-sized teddy bear at one point and defeats this demon creature they're going up against.
I mean, I could, like, certain members of the team, I could kind of see them going for that, because a lot of them have that kind of, like, funny aspect to them. But then you got ones like, what is she now, the White Canary?
Yeah, the White Canary.
Who really doesn't. She's a very serious person.
Yeah.
She's not somebody you want to make fun of. Otherwise, she will kill you. So, they're doing that's kind of sad. Black Lightning was pretty good from what I saw of it. I've not seen it all the way through.
I've heard good things about Black Lightning.
So that one's kind of fun. It actually, in a way, it kind of reminds me of Shazam, which we will get to later.
Ooh, is it just because they have lightning abilities?
Similar to the lightning abilities, actually, very costume design is very
Oh.
similar. It actually, his costume design kind of bit reminds me of Black Adam.
Yeah, no, it does.
And then also other aspects of like a bit of their personality and stuff kind of remind me of each other. But of course, one's a bit older and he's a bit more mature. So, there's that. I forget what was the other CW show that they had.
There's Supergirl now. That's kind of theirs.
Oh yeah, because
They're making a Batwoman show now.
I hope that does well because I always
Yeah.
like Batwoman or Batgirl? Sorry.
Batwoman.
Okay, I do like Batwoman as a character. Batgirl's all right, but not quite as much of a fan.
All right, number 4 for our questions, not questions, our real news and fake news. So, the Suicide Squad is what it's called. It's the one that was reported it was a total reboot of Suicide Squad, even though it's bringing back Margot Robbie. Well, here's the news that either I made up or I didn't. Not only is, as in our last episode, I reported that Jai Courtney's return as Captain Boomerang, but I'm sorry, I had a couple of beers in me. But Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller, and Joel Kinnaman is returning as Rick Flag. One more piece to that piece of news. Idris Elba, who was reported to be replacing Will Smith as Deadshot, they've decided to scrap the Deadshot part and they're making him a new character. No reports of what that character is, but there's no Deadshot in this movie.
That kind of makes sense. Will Smith was actually an okay Deadshot for what he was.
Yeah, agreed. So that was all one piece of news. So what do you think about all that?
Overall, I kind of like the idea, but at the same time, like didn't have high hopes for the first one, so I don't want to get my hopes up for the second one, even if it is got a better director, hopefully a better cast, and
yeah. All right, Travis. I only have one question for you. Which is the fake news?
Could we go over all of them because I just forgot what they were?
Fair enough. 1. James Cameron took the job of Titanic only so Hollywood could pay for him to go visit Titanic. 2. Disney has said they are working on future Planet of the Apes films and Alien movies. 3. Arrow producer saying Arrow is better than Game of Thrones and MCU. No, they built a better universe compared to MCU. 4. A bunch of people returning back to Suicide Squad, and Idris Elba is no longer playing Deadshot.
I'm gonna go with the Arrow one because even I'm pretty sure they know they're not that good.
All right, Travis. You're right.
Okay.
So this one I actually didn't make up. Well, I made it up. Well, it's fake, but I didn't make it up.
Okay.
I found this on a meme page for CW-related products, and I was going to use this as a real piece of news, and I looked it up, and there's no evidence that this is real.
Okay, I strongly hope it's not because I don't think they're that arrogant that they know it's better because we know it's not.
Yep, and that was real news and fake news. That was fun. All right, here we are. We're talking about some Shazam. So the DC Universe, it's been up and down. Oh, Travis, he's pointing towards the shot glass because he knows that he guessed it right, so he gets a reward in watching me down a shot.
Well, I was just going to fill it if it was empty because you do have to down a shot.
All right, so, I don't know. I'm going to take a shot. You talk a little about Shazam.
Where are we starting off here?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was going to talk about how the DC universe has been having its ups and downs, but recently it seems like they've been going on the up.
All right, I will start there then. Yes, they have been going up, and I don't know if it's just because they're starting to do a lot more of the solo films rather than like the big team up films which they were attempting to do between Batman and Superman,
Suicide Squad,
and Justice League, which I still have yet to see, but I heard it was very terrible.
I hate Justice League.
Okay, and I hate Suicide Squad, so
fair enough.
All right, sorry, I don't particularly hate it. I hate aspects of it. There we go. Much better.
Yeah, I
Down
feel
that
like
shot.
It should have been much better than it was.
All right. Yeah. No, it could have. Don't puke on me. Please don't puke on me.
Oh my god, I forgot how spicy this was.
Yeah, and it's been sitting for what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
Not helping it.
Alright, go.
Just breathe, okay, bud? But anyway, so like the fact that they're going to a lot of solo films between Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and now Shazam, I do think they're doing a lot better, and I think they're on a right track for them. Like if they keep continuing with what they're doing now, I think they'll go a lot farther.
And it seems they have much more solo films planned. They got Joker coming out. Well, they do have that Birds of Prey movie that's coming up at some point.
Yeah, but I think if at the very least the next Suicide Squad does reasonably well, I think then they'll continue doing on with at least the very small team-up films that they will have.
Yeah. Imagine, do you know that this year was supposed to be the year that they originally planned Justice League Part 2 is supposed to come out?
Really?
Yeah.
How far did that get them?
Not very far. Recently, at that press junket that Zack Snyder said people live in a fucking dream world, he also laid out his plans of what the original script was supposed to be for the Justice League film, which was kind of interesting because he blames the studio because Batman and Superman, if you like it or not like it, a lot of people didn't care for that direction the film was going. So apparently, his idea for the Justice League Part 1 and 2, Warner Brothers kind of scrapped because they wanted to do something more fun because people didn't like the dark aspects of Batman and Superman, I guess. Which kind of led to Justice League, which is a bumbled mess. Partially because it's kind of like supposed to be more fun, but it just comes off as like a really lame Marvel ripoff, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I actually to their aspect, I kind of respected them for going in the darker.
So did I. I thought that was interesting.
I mean, I realize they can't do with all the characters. Like there are some characters that are very light, in particularly the Flash, bit of Cyborg, and definitely Shazam are all very light characters.
Can I jump in here for a sec? We got some Flash news, Travis.
Do we?
Yeah, so you know how when we record our DC Universe podcast episode that hopefully will get released or not,
I was just drunk enough. I do not remember that.
remember we talked about Ezra Miller who plays the Flash and how he's writing his own script?
Yeah, yeah, he has to because no one else will write it for him.
And how he was doing a darker take, which you didn't like?
Well, I don't think it really fits the character. Is my opinion on it.
Well, apparently he's getting replaced.
So I guess no one else liked that idea either.
Yeah.
No, I mean I like the Flash. I respect the character. It's just he's not ever been much of a dark, very sinister character
Yeah.
unless you switch universes because he has been in a
Yeah.
very select few different universes where he can be a very dark character. So, like the fact that they're scrapping him is kind of sucks because I kind of want to see what he would have written, and at the same time kind of makes sense because I also know probably what he would have written.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
But yeah, that was the Flash news. But yeah, I get what you're saying that they've been doing good with this trajectory of going with these solo films, and they've been doing pretty good. And they're on the right track.
so far, yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about Shazam. So Shazam, it is based off. Originally, it was not a Marvel or DC product. It was its own comic, and it was kind of that comic book company's response to Superman. He had a lot of similar strength levels, and he was able to fly and stuff, kind of like Superman.
Yeah, so he's their very OP character.
Yeah, it was their OP character, except it was a little bit more fun because he was actually a teenage boy.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I don't know how it actually turned out, but DC bought it out, so it became their own character, and they kind of did its own stuff with it. And Shazam has a couple of different versions of it. One version, it's just a little boy, this is the Shazam, and he turns into the character. There's also one where he shares powers with a bunch of other Shazam-related characters. So sometimes they change it up, sometimes they not. Costume sometimes changes. The original one was just the red and yellow, the big cheese, as he was originally called as a nickname, which is dumb.
It's dumb, but it makes sense if you ever look at his costume.
And recently for the new 52, which is where they've been doing the version where Billy Batson and his orphanage of, I guess they're not an orphanage, but all the foster kids can also turn to Shazams.
Community home? No,
No, foster home.
foster. Well, it's a multiple foster home.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
And
that's called.
that version has the white cape and white hood. So sometimes they change him up. I always thought he was kind of interesting because he was. We should have drank a little less beers. Actually, no, we're doing all right. He's kind of like Superman, but he's not. I think he's more interesting because he's not just like a Boy Scout. He's actually quite literally a boy, but he gets to turn to a Superman-like character who has magic abilities, and he's based off Greek gods, which I find is interesting because he's based off the strength of Solomon. He is the power of Zeus, the speed of Mercury, I want to say, and I kind of find that interesting about the character.
Yeah, no, and the fact that the DC has a few other Greek god-based characters and other stuff like that is kind of it ties into itself. So
Yeah, no, I find it interesting. So we're gonna talk about the movie. Movie came out this week. Money doesn't always matter because the Transformers films made a lot of money, and the new Bumblebee movie did not make as much money, even close to.
and we know which one we'd rather see.
Oh yeah. this Shazam movie is performing well. Like, it's definitely going to get its money back and then some, but it's performing less than other DC films. Apparently, these DC films have been doing fairly well in their first weekend. Like, even Batman and Superman, which for having two of its biggest characters didn't make a, Superman and Batman, this huge character, it didn't make a ton of money, but it made a ton in its first weekend. Shazam is the lowest scoring DC Universe film in its first weekend, but over time it's probably going to make more money because less people saw Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad, and other films that didn't do as well in the next couple weekends.
Yeah, no, I did. I actually, as you said, I went there today, and there was maybe 6 other people in the theater with me.
Yeah, which is kind of I thought it would be doing really good because it has like a family aspect to it. It feels like a very 90s family film about, it follows like a younger boy who turns into a male, kind of like Tom Hanks' Big. I just kept getting asked, like, the feeling that it felt like a 90s, 80s, like, family film. And I thought that more people would see it because of that. It wasn't like a dark, like, Zack Snyder film where definitely it's mostly just teenagers and men and women going to see.
Yeah. Actually, it was kind of funny. I did not see a single kid in the whole theater.
Weird.
Not one.
Yeah, we had some at our theater, but mostly not. But, money or no money, doesn't matter if it helps or doesn't help the film. Let's talk about if it's actually good or not. I think it's good.
I will agree with you. Overall, it's a pretty decent movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely not my favorite movie by far, even out of the DC universe. But no, I'd say it's pretty good. I mean, like I'd go and watch it again anytime.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite DC film. I have a favorite Marvel film. I don't really have a favorite DC film, not because I don't like DC, but I don't feel like any of them is like a film I would call perfect. I feel like, especially at this point, many of them are good. I just don't feel like any of them are like great or perfect. But I feel like many of them are good.
Yeah, no, it kind of falls in that category. There's only like one I definitely call like their good one, and
Which
then
is that?
for me it was Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's pretty great. Yeah, my only problem with Wonder Woman is that the third act, the last part of it's just not as good as the first two parts of it.
I'll agree with you on that, but
But overall, I feel like Wonder Woman is very strong. I mean, Aquaman was very fun.
that was a lot of
Very,
fun.
yeah, very fun.
That's definitely a movie you want to see in theaters. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
so
a
much
more
a
a theater film.
home cinema kind of deal.
I feel like this film, and we'll talk about what worked and didn't work. I feel like even though there was a decent amount of things that didn't work for me, all the things that worked for me outweighed the negatives. And a film that came out recently was Captain Marvel, which we had a fun time with.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that one.
In my opinion, I would personally rather see Shazam again. I feel like the Marvel's Captain Marvel was more soundly made. There's I think, less flaws in my opinion, but I feel like Shazam was more fun, and its highs outweighed Captain Marvel's highs, and it was just more fun stuff for me to like in Shazam. In my opinion, I would rather go see Shazam for a second time in theaters. Is what I'm saying.
That'd be a tough call for me. I think they'd be tied for me almost.
Okay, so yes, close to the same
Yeah,
enjoyment level for you.
yeah.
That's good. So Shazam, very interesting. And we are going to do a spoiler section on this show. We're not going to start now, but we will let people know when we start talking about spoilers, and I will put a time code in. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll put it in our little description box, or if you're watching on iTunes, there should be a little bio section for this episode where we'll put a timestamp of where it jumped to avoid the spoilers if you haven't seen the film. But let's start talking about the film without giving away major spoilers. So, what is the story of the film?
So roughly follows Billy Baxton, our main protagonist, as he ventures through life as a
Orphan. He doesn't have a daddy or mommy.
well, no, he does, but
They abandoned him.
I forget how the story works exactly.
So, he has been abandoned when he was a little kid. He was abandoned by his mother, or
He
got
got
lost.
Yes,
He got lost.
There we go.
And so he spent his last portion of his life since he was very little looking for his mom
Going from foster home to foster home.
And he keeps running away, keeps going to different schools, because all he does is keep running away, trying to find his mom. And he can never find her,
Yep.
which I think is pretty interesting. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to have to explain more on that one.
Yeah, so, and they go into it more later, but I think that's kind of interesting for the character. He's not just giving up, he's still looking for his mom. And yeah, that's kind of his arc for the film, is that he's trying to look for his mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that
And
makes
he
sense.
stumbles after getting arrested. He gets put in a foster home. Not yeah, it's a foster home where the two foster parents have like 5 or 6 more kids,
Yes.
ranging in age from very young to about to enter college. And all of them have their own unique personalities and traits. And, they're there for him. And they like Billy, but he's kind of an outcast. He just wants to run away and go find his mom again. One of the most noticeable characters of the film and also the foster kids is Freddy, who is he can't really walk very well. He injured his leg when he was young, so he walks around on a crutch, and he's kind of the friend character to Shazam and also Billy Batson.
Yeah. Yeah, that supportive, kind of almost like a brother, but of course not because they are both orphans.
And to summarize the plot, without giving too much away, a villain, Dr. Savannah, shows up. He has gained powers similar to Shazam, and Billy Batson eventually gains the power of Shazam, and he becomes this superhero with strengths very much like Superman, except this isn't someone who grew up his whole life with the powers of Superman. He's a boy who gets to turn into this superhero, and he's kind of having fun with it.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. He learns a lot, and then, of course, tries, at least attempts, to become a superhero out of the whole deal.
Yeah, and there's more stuff in there, but that goes into deeper into the spoilers and plot.
Yep.
But that's kind of the gist of the plot. So let's talk about it. What characters did you like? What didn't you like? I was telling Karina. Karina and I went to go see it. I really like the kid who plays Freddy, who kind of works off Billy Batson and Shazam. I feel like he was very good with both actors.
He was very good. The only thing I didn't like about the character is at some points he went a little bit over to the top and got on my, like, he got too annoying for me.
Sure,
But no, like the actual actor and at least parts of the character I really liked.
sure. And there's a lot of characters in this film, ranging from the foster parents, all the foster kids, Freddy, Billy Batson, Shazam, Dr. Savannah. How do you feel like all the characters did? Which ones did you like? How do you feel like did they do well with all these characters? Like mixing them well together?
I don't think they really did bad with any of the characters.
Yeah,
I guess there was a couple. We'll go when we go into the spoilers. I guess I'll probably mention them that I didn't think that they went at least enough in depth on.
yeah. I
But
don't
it's
think any of them were like bad. Just like didn't go into a
yeah,
ton, which kind of makes sense.
yeah, like not many of at least for a lot of the foster kids and a lot of the other people around. They didn't really have much to their backstory to them, or at
Yeah,
least
it's
not that
mostly
we knew.
Freddy.
Yeah, Fre- yeah. Actually, we didn't even hear a whole lot about Freddy, like how ever became a foster kid or whatever. We just heard about his injuries and whatnot.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
like, they didn't go into terrible detail on anybody except for, of course, Billy and a bit on Doctor Savant. So that's kind of nice. Like the two main, I guess,
The
villain.
protagonist and the antagonist.
Yeah, going in.
Something that people could disagree with me or not, that something I thought was a flaw was that I felt like, and Karina agreed with me too, that the Billy Batson character seemed very different than the Shazam character. The Shazam character was very fun and a positive, but kind of when he came back to a little boy, he was kind of like emo-ish and kind of like negative.
Well, I think that was kind of I kind of like that change because you got to see what he's like in real life. I guess it'd be kind of like when you play a video game character in a RPG, you never play yourself.
Yeah, but this is in this he's literally playing himself. He's just bigger and stronger. He
But
should have
that's
the
the thing,
same
he's not.
personality.
He should have a similar personality, a bit more similar than what he had. But at the same time, he was invulnerable. He couldn't die, well, at least by being shot or stabbed.
Yeah.
He had powers more powerful than a lot of the actual DC like universe. So, like, he was in a way kind of playing a video game character, so he could go beyond his regular everyday personality, and like he could have been able to change it a little bit. But I will agree with you. I think they changed it too much.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, that was just something little that I thought, but most people might not notice it or agree with Travis that it wasn't really that big of a deal. I feel like the guy who plays Shazam, Zach Lively, he starred in Chuck multiple years ago. I thought he was amazing as Shazam.
He
He was
was
great.
he was great. A lot of his lines were really good. The only thing I didn't like was the costume.
All right, we'll talk about that in a second. Zachary Lively, he was in all my favorite parts, and it wasn't just because he was the main character, Shazam. I just thought his parts were the most fun in the movie, like when he's experimenting around as a superhero. And I feel like he was able to play as a boy in a grown-up superhero's body very well.
He did, but as you said, he really didn't play a Billy Baxton kid.
Yeah, he didn't play
But
really a Billy Batson. But I would prefer not to because Billy Batson was kind of negative and kind of,
it wasn't fun.
as like Freddy said, he was kind of being a dick.
Yeah,
Like Freddy grown up as Shazam would kind of make more sense.
yeah, they were very, very similar.
But if I was gonna bash any of the two characters for not being similar to each other, I'd bash more the Billy Batson character because the Shazam character is what I came to see, and he did an amazing job. And just seeing him on screen, he was just so fun.
Yeah, no, I honestly like him playing Shazam was probably my one of my favorite parts of that movie, like aspects of it.
Yeah, no, he is great. Zachary Levi is Shazam, and him working off the kid that plays Freddy, both of them work very well together, and that was just super fun to see. So the guy who plays Shazam, amazing, so funny, and just so fun. I kind of felt like I was almost a child again, just seeing them kind of interact to each other and just having fun with this superhero thing. They're not going out there to try to save the world or anything. They're just trying to experiment and do a lot of things to see how strong are you. Can you get shot? Can you be lit on fire? And he does save some people from getting robbed, a woman from getting mugged. But he's kind of stumbling through this. And it was kind of fun to see because, like, if Superman did it, he would do it effortlessly without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, no, we were. Well, I mean, I guess we kind of saw it in Man of Steel, but you never really see the full, true backstory to how Superman got
Yeah.
to learn how to be a hero, and this kind of shows you what it would have been like for him.
Yes,
In a way.
I just loved all that. When he's in Shazam, it's just perfect for me. Like, I just love Shazam. Let's talk about the suit. So, I like the design of the Shazam suit in general. I like the bright red with the white cape and the lightning bolt. But I think what you're talking about is the Shazam suit that was in the movie.
Yes. So we, as well, I believe it's a video that will be coming out later. We play the game Injustice.
Yeah, we played it first Injustice for Trash Talk Let's Play. We played Shazam.
Yes, we played as Shazam. I can't even speak. Shazam. And the suit that they use in that particular game looks incredible down to a T. Because, in a way, I believe it was the Flash suit from the Justice League movie,
Yeah.
where it looks a bit almost kind of like armor-ish, more than the actual like
Yeah.
spandex kind of.
Yeah, so that Flash suit is very much based off the Injustice character
Yeah,
in 1 and 2 because it has it's the Flash look, but it kind of looks like he's almost wearing armor too.
yeah. And that's how they did it in Injustice for Shazam. His suit looks very armor-based rather than more like, as I was saying,
Spandex.
The suit that they used for the movie was very, very spandex-based. Like, it was skin tight everywhere. You could see every aspect of, I already forgot out the actor's name.
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi's body.
Oh yeah.
Not that we want to see that.
Oh
Or
yeah.
not want to see it. But besides the point. So like, I think, and
Remember,
also,
ladies, if you're checking out Zachary Levi, that guy's actually a 14-year-old boy in the movie. So that makes you a pedophile.
but not in real life, so you're actually not a pedophile. But besides the point. So, like, that whole suit, with the way they went for it, man, you really don't want to take that shot, do you?
I don't know why I poured myself into a shot. I didn't want to take it. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
But, so, like, I mean, it's probably not the worst suit in the world. It just wasn't my favorite. And in particularly, for Injustice, when they do the lightning bolt, they do a silverish white kind of lightning bolt, which I think looks very, very badass.
Yeah.
As for in the movie, I believe they make it a little bit more comic book based, and they do the bright yellow cheese wedge lightning bolt.
Yeah, I was okay with his suit because he's kind of playing a stereotypical hero role, so he's playing like the super macho buff character with a like pulled back perfect hair. He's playing that like video game roles like you were saying, like playing the perfect avatar kind of. But I do feel like in someone else speak about after the movie, I don't think this is the actor's fault. The actor did get in shape to be in the movie, but it's kind of obvious that they did use padding to make him look stronger.
Yeah,
And
especially around the arms and waist area.
yeah, and like Karina said, who watched the movie with me, she said, "Well, you can't blame him because they kind of made him into like literally the perfect superhero. Like the only one who could pull that off is probably Henry Cavill as Superman, who is literally all that muscle. But most any other person, you can't get that body type by actual exercise.
They
So
could have
they
used The
had to.
Rock.
Well, The Rock is playing Black Adam, probably maybe.
He could have played both. He could have fought himself.
Does anyone want to watch that though?
I think
Actually,
somebody would.
Yeah, so I was okay with it, but did kind of look at some points a little like plasticky and whatnot. But I was okay with the costume; it seemed fine enough. But I do get you saying the Shazam costume in Injustice is pretty dope costume. The
Yeah,
armor look to it.
like for me, it's just I like the cape, and I believe actually I don't know. He doesn't have the boot. Sorry,
He
wrong.
also has a hood in Injustice. He doesn't have a hood, I don't think.
I believe
In
he
the
has it. He
movie.
just never uses it in the movie. Because I believe that cape also has the white hood attachment to it. He just never uses it.
Oh my god.
Do you want the puke basket?
No, it's not about that I'm gonna throw up. It's about it going down was painful.
Oh,
Spicy.
okay.
Spicy.
But anyway, so like that was my only complaint was it would looked a little bit too spandexy, and then when it got to, as you said, the padding and stuff, it was very noticeable.
Yeah. So let's talk about the enemy. Let's talk about Dr. Sivana. So Dr. Sivana in the comics is more. He's different. He is a mad scientist with no super strength. He beats or tries to beat the Shazam family based on his intellect alone. But this was kind of done in like the 1960s Shazam comics. In this, he has super strength. He can fly
And he has lightning.
and lightning. I know why he has all these powers.
They wanted to make Black Adam.
They wanted to do Black Adam, and it was either DC wanted to be greedy and make a Black Adam movie, which is what they're planning on doing, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson's too busy making a million movies.
It could be a mixture of both,
It's,
actually.
it's probably both. But it's very obvious that they were like, the writers were like, oh shit, we can't use this character now. Let's backpedal and try to make a character similar enough of this so we don't have to rework the whole movie.
Yeah. My one downfall with it is I think it's going to lessen the Black Adam movie. Because
Yeah.
we've already seen what a Black Adam, like a mild Black Adam, could look like. Even though his powers were based. We'll get into spoilers later, sorry. His powers were based off something else, but it is a very Black Adamish character, so I think it could lessen the Black Adam movie when it comes out. But as far
Well,
as
even I feel like it could almost lessen a future Shazam movie because I thought a Shazam. What's interesting about Shazam versus Black Adam with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is the most manly man you can be. Shazam, even though he's mega ripped and strong, he's a boy on the inside. So I thought that dynamic is very cool. And I feel like they did a similar thing with the Dr. Sivana thing. There's a lot of stuff I really love in this movie. It's very fun. It's not drag. It doesn't like drag on, or it's very dark. There's some dark elements to it, but it's made in a fun way. And a lot of the characters are very fun to watch. The characters are well written and enjoyable to watch. I don't think the villain was very interesting, and it was probably because they were trying to do a Black Adam thing, but they couldn't. But they make a Shazam sequel that actually has Black Adam with it. Even though Black Adam's an amazing character, wouldn't that make him less interesting that they did a similar character type already?
honestly, I think so. And honestly, I kind of wish they would have done the full mad scientist uses technology. But then my only issue with that was it probably would have been a ripoff of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it would have been.
So even though it would have been more interesting for a future Shazam, it would have taken away
The first movie.
from whatever Lex Luthor's role was in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Easy killer. So like either way they would have gone, I think it would have ended. It's not gonna be the prettiest situation when they're done, but like they could have picked a worse villain to be honest. Like
Yeah.
even though he was a mild Black Adam, he was still okay.
Yeah, he was fine. The Shazam kids, I mean, the foster home kids that are with him, they're all very enjoyable, cute to watch. Some of them are very young, and some are older. I feel like they all brought something to the table in the movie.
Yeah, no, I mean even the parents in a certain way, they foster parents were
Yeah,
kind of fun to watch,
yeah, they were very
enjoyable.
nice. They were such nice people.
Yeah, and of course they were strict when necessary, so they were kind of like your everyday average parents, which made them very like humble and very like relatable.
In spoilers, we'll talk more about the characters, but I feel like overall in this movie, it did a good job with the characters. Let's talk about the film. I feel like Wonder Woman is very good. I feel like its first act is very amazing. The second act is amazing. The third act is a little kind of almost Batman and Superman, like at the end, how they're just battling in smoke, dark smoke against Doomsday. She's just fighting Ares in like an airport or something, and it's dark and a lot of smoke. In this, I feel like all the parts were pretty enjoyable to watch. And what I found interesting is the director, who's a good director. He is a horror film director. So I was wondering if he was going to bring any of that to the table or do something new. In the trailers, it made it seem like a very fun, enjoyable, family-friendly film. Interesting enough in this movie, and I feel like it worked. There is actually some, what would you consider, kind of scary or horror film. Oh, you fucked that up. Oh, Austin's gonna have to edit that out later. Good work, Travis.
Ow.
But there's some horror film elements to this.
There is, but I don't think it were very well done.
How so?
So of course the guy wanted to bring horror elements, which all respect, kudos to him. The actual horror aspect looked amazing, like visually, like the CGI and all that. My one flaw was he wanted to bring horror, but it wasn't rated R, so there was no blood and guts. And I think that took a lot away from like the actual like horrorness of it
Yeah,
because I wasn't
guess.
scared at all.
I guess, but it's a PG-13 film for kids.
I realize that, but trying to bring a horror aspect to the film and then not really like bringing it all the way,
Yeah.
kind of like it didn't do it for me.
Fair enough. Okay, before we wrap this up and go to the spoiler section of the show, let's quickly talk about, for people that are watching this before they're going to pause it before the spoiler section, about the film recommended or not recommended yet. Definitely recommend it. I feel like it's very fun, and it doesn't go really cliche on the superhero elements. The fight scenes are fun. It has a lot of interesting things to it. There's some twists along the way that are very interesting twists, and the characters are well done, and any parts with the Shazam character I feel like is very fun. There's some things that I feel like can be improved. A lot of the fight scenes and also a lot of scenes are at night for some reason, I noticed, which I feel like the Shazam fun character should be more during daytime.
Well, there was a couple good scenes during the day.
Oh, no, there were. I just feel like most of the scenes should have been during daytime.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
I don't think the villain was mega interesting.
I don't think any of the villain. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my two major complaints. But for the most part, I would say pretty good. I feel like this is another good step in the right direction for DC. I am going to give this a 4.5 out of 6 for our Trash Talk rating of I really liked it. I gave the Captain Marvel film also 4.5. If I was to say which one is better, though, I would say this one, because even though Captain Marvel didn't have as much flaws to it as this one, Shazam had much more bright spots to it and didn't seem so formulaic to me than Captain Marvel. So I'll say this film is a bit better, but I really like it. So I'm going to give it the Trash Talk 4.5. I really like it out of 6.
So I believe I'm going to give this one a 4. And it's not so much I didn't like it nearly as much. It was just, I think this would be better as kind of like something you'd watch at home with the family rather than going to the cinemas to see, which maybe is why it's not doing so well right now. So I think this would be like either rented on Netflix or something, or wait till it comes out on DVD.
So you give it the 4 out of 6. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, and it'd be a good at-home movie to watch with your family.
Okay. And in the bio of wherever you're watching this, I should have a little description box of the time that we're stopping for spoilers. We're now going to be talking about spoilers for a little bit. What do you want to talk about first, Ross?
So I believe we're gonna start off with the demons.
Okay. So Dr. Savannah is powered kind of by the seven deadly sins,
which honestly look nothing like seven deadly sins.
And they're all kind of creepy monsters supposed to represent them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part they didn't really represent it very well.
They didn't represent the sins, and like I said, they weren't very horrifying.
I thought they were kind of scary design, but to each their own.
They looked like slightly cool down, bud. Slightly larger gargoyles, to be honest.
You're not wrong.
Especially the one, I believe one of them at least had wings. So, they didn't represent the seven deadly sins. They were never very intimidating, and of course, because even though they went up to the point of them, like, I think, chomping on somebody's head, they, of course, never showed them ripping somebody's head off or anything like that.
Yeah.
They weren't scary to me, and I was disappointed because I wanted them to be. I really did.
Sure.
I wanted them to, like, walk around with a big battle axe and just cut somebody in half just out of the blue.
Alright, fair enough.
So, like, that was my one disappointment with them.
Okay. Spoilers. What can we talk about? Oh, the Shazam twist. At the very end, all the little kids, they get to turn into their own versions of the Shazam characters.
Kind of their own versions. They're all very similar, though. They all have relatively close to the same powers.
Yeah, powers and suits. It's kind of like that in the comics. In the olden times of Shazam, he had other people that joined him, but they were individual. Like there's Mary Marvel, which is in this movie. She has the red and yellow like Shazam, but she has a skirt, and she's as powerful as Shazam. There's also a tiger version. Taki Tawny is a character, and there's like Shazam Junior. No, Captain Marvel Junior, who's just like a kid version, which is kind of dumb because also
is a kid.
Shazam is a kid. In the new version, which I was talking about earlier, the new 52, they rebooted it so that all of his foster kids got the powers of him. They kind of shared the Shazam power, but they had similar suits.
His foster family, not foster kids, because he's not their parent.
Oh, whatever. Foster family, they had similar suit design, but it was just different colors. And I thought that was really cool. In Krina, I really love that twist, but what's sad is I was spoiled on this twist. Someone spoiled this to me. Do you know who spoiled it for me? Actually, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes?
No, and it's Tanvir, not Tamavir. But
however you pronounce it.
No, Funko Pops did.
Who's that?
Pops? The Pops, I have like 50 of them in my room.
Oh, they spoiled it.
Yeah.
Oh, because they came out with the Pops before the movie.
Yeah. So I have the Shazam one in the back of my room, but at the store I got them, GameStop, they had the other ones. So they had the Mary Marvel one. They had literally all of them. So they had the little African American girl who grew up to be the one in the purple outfit. They also had the guy that was in the green Shazam outfit.
Oh, the Hispanic.
Yeah. They also had the Asian kid that grows... I wish I knew their names. And just go off their race. The little Asian kid that has the gray outfit. And also Freddy, who's one of the main characters in the movie. He's known as Freddy, and on the pop box, he's called Freddy, and he's in a blue outfit. So I was like, I started putting two and two together. So when they all started hanging out at the end of the film, and they had their little, like, the fight in the carnival, I saw it coming. I was like, damn it. How was I spoiled by Funko Pops?
So I wasn't seeing it coming up until I saw the staff. The moment I saw the staff come in at the end, that's when I kind of figured it out.
Okay.
Because, of course, that's how Shazam got his powers, of course.
Yeah.
So that's when I figured it out. Kind of a bit of a spoiler, but nonetheless, it was kind of fun. My one downfall is, I believe it was Mary Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
One with the same outfit but a skirt. She didn't do anything.
She didn't do anything. That's kind of sad.
There was the guy with the green outfit who...
Super strong.
The guy with the gray outfit who had the best lightning ability. The one with the blue outfit who had the flight. It was Frankie. And
the girl in the purple is super, super fast. She's some cool scenes.
Yeah, and despite that Mary Marvel had all the same powers as Shazam, didn't use anything.
Yeah, the whole time it seemed she was just getting walloped on by the seven deadly sins.
Yeah, I think there was actually the particular one that was popular was the one with the tentacles, which made it a little bit weird. But
Yeah.
um, but no, I mean, like that was my one disappointment with that was that even though she looked really badass,
Yeah.
she was kind of useless, which
Yeah.
very disappointing.
Yeah, it was.
But no, that was a good twist. I liked it. I really like seeing all the different versions of the
Yeah, it was fun.
Captain Marvel or sorry Shazam outfit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and actually, to be honest, as far as design goes, I even like the villain's design. The big trench coat with the fur on it, his scar for the eye, all
Oh,
that.
Dr. Savannah
Yeah,
sunglasses. Yeah, I thought this was a good design too.
I just didn't like the character.
Yeah, Karina, she said that that outfit with the trench coat and the glasses and scar was kind of cliche for a villain, but I was like, it works. It's kind of a
Yeah,
cool design.
yeah. I mean, had they gone for a bit more of a mad scientist theme with him, I kind of would have got it a bit more. But he looked pretty
Yeah,
menacing for a
yeah.
villain.
So, do you buy? So, something you were talking about earlier about how he gets his powers. He gets his powers by the seven deadly sins. He's rejected by the original Shazam, who's the wizard that gives Billy Batson his power, and he's upset because his dad and his brother, they think he's
Disowned
not
him.
really a man, and they kind of disown him. Do you think his backstory and stuff works, or not really?
For the character that he was, which, as you specifically said, he was a very Black Adam type of character,
Yeah.
it didn't. Had he become a mad scientist and tried to take them on without superpowers, I think I would have loved him.
Yeah. Because wouldn't that have been interesting if he was rejected of his power and he became a supervillain, but he didn't have any powers? And
But he was still able to go up against Shazam head on head.
yeah,
Like, that would have been cool.
yeah,
But the fact that they just gave him all the powers of Shazam and made him a Black Adam, it was a bit of a letdown.
yeah,
But as
yeah,
far as the backstory goes, it was okay as far as villains go.
yeah. It was fun. I feel like a lot of Marvel villains are kind of like one note, not very interesting. I feel like most of DC villains are better than the Marvel ones. I feel like this one was kind of generic.
Yeah, no, he was like we said, he was a wannabe Black Adam, which was okay, but nothing special.
Yeah. So villain didn't really work for us. Stuff that really worked. I feel like the twists were very good. Them all in their super suits at the end. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, I mean, and all the actors they got to play him, attempting to play teenage kids and
Yeah.
grown up adult bodies was all fun. Like
Yeah.
it was really fun. I enjoyed that. Like the whole very last couple scenes were probably the most enjoyable for me to watch.
Yeah. No. It definitely the film ended on a good note.
I think one of the biggest letdowns for me was when they were attempting to learn all about Shazam's powers between Billy Baxton and Frankie, and then posting it all on YouTube, which I realize is a big thing now, and everyone does a lot of shit and posting.
Sure.
It was kind of a letdown for me because, of course, they're just announcing to the world where he is at all times,
Yeah.
showing every supervillain out there that he's right
Yeah.
in whatever. I already forgot the city,
Philadelphia is where he was.
Philadelphia. Like they just went too far with it, I think, but it was still kind of fun.
Yeah. In that scene where they're training, I think it's Queen's "I'm Having a Good Time," whatever song that's from. What is it? I'm having a good time, having a good time. Um,
You should take singing lessons.
no, people say I should lead lessons.
No one's ever.
um, I felt like that was very fun. Where they're filming him. I see what you're saying that him posting on YouTube is kind of dumb, but I feel like him just filming it
Yeah, no.
for himself and them experimenting with his powers is very fun.
Yeah, no. The whole like training montage was fun.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
just
train montage just like Rocky.
yeah. And actually, they even made Rocky reference, which was
Yeah,
pretty
'cause
badass.
Rocky trained in Philadelphia or whatever.
Yeah. So like that whole thing was pretty cool. It was just the moment that it got posted to YouTube and everyone found out about Shazam through YouTube. That was kind of annoying in my opinion.
Sure. I feel like the bullies are in that super cliche movie bullies.
That's the thing. They never went into any sort of backstory, and they were just that was one of the parts I was going to get to here. They were just cliche bullies who were your high school average punks who
Yeah.
I forget why, but for some reason they drove a big jacked up pickup truck and
It's
kicked on
because they're bullies, Travis.
But that was the thing. Not every bully drives a big jacked up
Yeah,
pickup,
but
especially in
you look
a
more
city.
of a douchebag.
I guess, yeah, I did
I
kind
don't
of.
know. Is that like? I don't know if that's like a fault on the writing. It probably is, but it could also just be like a movie trope. Because every single movie with bullies, they all literally act the same. They have like one of our crony that's with them. They beat up on the scrawny kid for some reason. They give him wedgies.
Yeah.
They drive like muscle cars or like trucks for some reason.
Yeah, no, I think I think it's just a trope, and they all follow it to a T.
Yeah,
But that was a disappointment. And then of course, like a lot of the high school scenes for me, especially I think it was the one where Shazam was able to get Frankie out of school by turning into his dad, and the security guard being a complete
yeah,
fucking dipshit.
yeah.
That was annoying.
I thought that was funny.
It was funny, but at the same time, like making this guy out so he just lets kids off school campus with like no
Yeah.
ID or anything made him look.
I was fine with it because I thought it was funny for the scene and whatnot. But I see what you're saying.
It was stupid in my opinion. Very, very stupid.
Fair enough. Okay.
And a lot of the high school scenes were very cliche. The getting bullied in the hallway,
Yep.
all the kids ganging up on that one guy because he said he knew Shazam in the lunchroom, and then him not actually
If
being
they
Shazam.
give him a wedgie throughout the like halls or whatever.
Yeah, and
Do
other.
people give wedgies anymore?
I don't think so. I think people are too scared to touch other people's underwear because
Yeah.
germs and shit. But
Yeah.
if they weren't scared of that, I'm sure they would. Bullies would still give wedgies.
Yeah.
And also, bullying's not allowed in school anymore, as it wasn't back then.
Yeah. Supposedly. Yeah. See, I work in a school now, and I'm actually very impressed with how kids act nowadays compared to when we were in school. All right. What other spoiler themed things did you want to talk about?
Oh, what was the main wizard guy?
He's listed as Shazam, is what his name is apparently.
Oh,
He's
okay.
the wizard, Shazam, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna call him the wizard.
Sure.
That scene, it was okay in my opinion. Like I loved the whole like the darkness of his cave and all that. It looked really nice.
Sure.
I just thought they could have done better with the character.
Oh, the wizard character?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
either a dick or he was
was kinda a
like,
dick.
"Help me because you're the only one
Yeah,
I
he was
have."
kind of desperate.
Yeah, at the end he was just desperate because of course the villains had escaped their prison. So, like all in all, I think they could have done a lot better, but it wasn't the worst.
Sure, fair enough. Oh, Charles, we're going to talk about some things people wrote in about. And if people ever want to write in, they can write in on trashtalkpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at trashtalkpod. All right, here's a question Brendan asked. What are your hopes for the sequel and future of the DC universe?
So as far as a sequel goes, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to see Black Adam in it, simply because this was basically a rip-off Black Adam. So I don't know if I actually want to see that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So maybe if they could just come up with a whole brand new villain, something original.
Well,
that'd
since
be
we're
nice.
in spoiler talk, do you see the after credit scene?
I did, and I was wondering what that little caterpillar fellow was.
Yeah, so in the comics, he's like a weird villain who's a caterpillar, but he is actually an alien from a different world. And he burrows inside people's ears and goes in their brains, and he kind of mind controls them. And he's really smart, and he kind of tries to take over the world with a bunch of like robots and mind control and stuff.
So basically, a caterpillar version of Lex Luthor.
Kind of, but
Oh.
this one has more magical like mind control.
Oh, okay. So he's a bit more magical. Okay. He might be an interesting villain. I'd like
Yeah.
to see that, especially if they go full mad scientist with the character. I think that'd be kind of cool for the sequel.
Yeah. Going off what Brendan said, do you have anything you want to see from the future from the DC universe?
Oh, DC Universe. Yes, I want to see a good, I repeat this, a good Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've watched a few now animated Justice League movies. My particular favorite so far has been Justice League War,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
as far as the animated ones go. And I want to see that live action, not whatever they made.
Is Shazam in that one? Is in Shazam or is he not?
Actually, I want to say he is because they didn't use Martian Manhunter. So yes, I do believe Shazam is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Things I want to see. Continue what you started off and just, keep working on it and just keep going. I feel like all the characters are very fun. I'm not sure if I want to see just Shazam or if I want to see all the other Shazam kids. Like, it would be fun to see them, but maybe that would kind of subtract from the actual Shazam, character.
I want to see them in future movies. I want to see them separated so that they have to learn how to fight for themselves on their own. Because I believe the oldest one there, the one that was a senior, is going off to college.
Yeah.
I want to see her living somewhere else in college and then having to figure out her powers and kind of become her own superhero.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what to do for the future of Shazam. I kind of agree with Travis. I feel like they had a good rock to build off, and yeah, the first one was pretty good. So keep doing off that, and you make a sequel. You choose to have Black Adam in it or not. Like Travis said, you kind of already did a Black Adam character, but if you did put him in, I guess that would only help. It would just be kind of the same, but a little bit more interesting because he's based off Egyptian gods. All right. Farrat said, Farrat maybe. Why isn't the MCU dead yet? And he spelled dead, D-E-D, dead yet.
Oh, dud?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something?
I think it's just a joke question.
Okay. So why it's not dead yet is because they make enough movies and they make them good enough that they're never gonna die, bud.
And Avengers Endgame's coming out, so.
Yeah, exactly. And that's gonna be one of their highlights. So they can't die yet, and they probably will not die in the future, especially because in comparison to DC, their money income is like exponentially better.
Yeah.
So that's why no death.
Yep. All right. Nami said, N-A-M-E-E, Nami? Don't you think they should have used Shazam and Superman's meeting in Justice League sequel? It would have been entertaining to see the entire meetup scene. So she's referring to, still in the spoilers we are in the show, that in the very end of the movie, Shazam comes in and he's like, "Hey kids, I know this kid, Freddy." And all their kids are like, "Oh, we doubted you, Freddy. You said you knew this superhero. We didn't believe you. We bullied you."
None
And
of
here
them
he
actually
is.
spoke.
Sure. Well, they said it in their facial expressions.
They didn't barely show their
And
faces.
then Shazam was like, "Yo, guys, I have another friend." And then Superman shows up, but they don't show his face because Henry Cavill quit or was fired or something.
We'll say he retired.
Yeah, he's retired. Which kind it'd have been. I was kind of hoping they could just get him for one scene.
You know, I almost kind of thought it would have been funny if they. Who was the Superman from the Supergirl show?
Oh, I don't know the actor, but yeah.
If they just got him to come on and do it just as a cameo type thing,
Yeah.
I think it would have been fun.
Yeah.
But
That would be kind of a dick move, though.
yeah, it would have. But he's already gone. He's not coming. At least to our knowledge, he's not coming back. So just jab that knife in a little bit harder.
So, Travis, do you agree with Nami? Don't you think they should have used Shazam and Superman's meeting in Justice League sequel rather than in this film?
Oh God, no. I wanted that one scene in this movie just because I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And also, like, it kind of made up for all the bullshit that happened earlier between the two characters. So I did like that. But just it gives them an opportunity for when they hopefully do a Justice League sequel for the Superman character to introduce Shazam to the rest of the crew.
Shazam. Who knows if, there's going to be Justice League sequel in the future, so.
If there is.
Yeah.
He'll be able to introduce him, kind of like how sometimes Batman just randomly introduces characters in the animated stuff. Like, I believe at one point he just brought Green Arrow in and just introduced him as like, "Hey, we have a new member. Here you guys go." So, I think, like, just something like that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. And, okay. I had some people ask the question of what was your favorite part of the film and what is your least favorite part of the film. And I think I had two people write in. So, Travis, what's your favorite and least favorite aspects of it? I'll start in saying that my favorite parts is that it is a very fun film and I was entertained throughout it. And yeah, I just thought it was fun. And the guy who plays Shazam is very fun to watch. Least favorite, I thought the whole villain thing could have been done better. There's some other little faults I have, but mostly just the main thing is just the villain could have been more interesting.
Yeah, I guess my favorite part was that plot twist. I know it was ruined for you, but the plot twist where it turns out that all of his siblings become the Shazam team. That was probably my favorite part, watching them get all their suits, get all their powers, learning about them, whatnot.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. My least favorite part, I'm not going to lie, was I believe it was the demon scene where the mad scientist first learns to use his powers and he sets all the demons free in the office where his dad and brother are.
Oh, really?
Least favorite scene.
Why?
Like I said, they went as far as to like send a demon to chomp some guy's head off, and then he didn't, or at least we didn't see him chomp the guy's head off, and he just throws him out the window. We see nothing that happens to him.
But you were fine with Venom doing that. Venom, that's so same bullshit.
No, because with Venom, we're not going to get into
All right,
this,
fair enough.
but with Venom, he looked good doing it.
Okay, fair enough.
As for this, they completely cut away as he was like Venom. I guess they did it a couple times, but like you could literally see his teeth coming around to chomp on the guy.
Yeah.
And in this, they kind of.
I thought one of the boardroom guys, he puts his like head around the guy, and then like the next shot he's like dangling or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, actually, I believe you're right. Okay, so there was that one part,
Yeah.
and then that same guy just gets thrown out the window. We never see what happens.
Oh yeah.
I thought that whole scene could have been done a lot better than it was,
Sure.
and maybe made to be a little bit less horror-y because it wasn't that scary or that horror-y
Sure.
to begin with.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, well, let's hear from some fans and see what they thought. Amanda wrote, favorite things. Great chemistry between Shazam and Freddy. They are very fun to watch, and I couldn't get tired of the two. Least favorite. Soundtrack was pretty generic, but the main theme is good, and sometimes the movie is too goofy. Your thoughts on Amanda's?
Yeah, no, I will agree with her.
Sure.
I don't ever really like pay attention to the soundtrack, but yeah, I think there wasn't even much of a soundtrack to be honest.
Yeah, it was just kind of generic,
Like,
instrumental,
didn't notice it at
music
all.
background.
And yeah, I will admit there was a couple parts that were just they went over the top with being they attempted to be goofy.
What was it? I didn't really notice that, to be honest.
I believe. Well, first of all, of course, the bullies. Like,
Oh yeah,
like they were trying to be so bully that you just thought they were funny.
yeah.
To be honest, because they were so pathetic.
Yeah.
And I believe what was it? Oh, like the whole like him going into a stripper kind of deal.
I thought that was kind of funny.
No, it was funny, but like, of course, like how they set it up, it was very, very goofy, especially
Goofy, okay.
by the time it was all over.
Sure.
And also
Okay.
that one scene where he teleports in there to save his family.
Yeah.
They were going over the top.
All right, and we got Diego, who he didn't bother to write in what his favorite part was. He just decided to write a negative part. So negative. All right, I did not like how they played the possibility of him being tempted by the globe at the end for laughs. Thematically, it wouldn't be a way to emphasize that Billy really was worthy of his powers and not just someone was lucked into it because the wizard was in a rush.
Actually, that kind of goes into that whole being too goofy thing
Okay.
because they failed miserably on that one.
I thought, like, he was just having a fun laugh because they're all kids and, they like to goof around and stuff. And, like, early in the movie, Freddy was kind of joking around with him saying, like, I got cancer and stuff. And he's like, I'm just joking with you. I thought it was just, like, they're kids and they're dumb and stuff. But, sure.
It was, but that was, like, kind of supposed to be, like, the heartfelt moment at that point, and then
Yeah.
they just attempted to throw a joke in there. And
Okay.
for me, it didn't work.
All right, so you're on board with Diego.
Yeah, no, it was...
Okay,
I didn't
Diego,
like it.
Travis is on board with what you're saying. Yeah, I can get. I don't know if I agree with what you're saying, but I get where you're coming from. Okay, that was Shazam. Comic of the week. I don't have something to give to Travis. This was supposed to be the week he was supposed to catch us up on things. But I do have something that I want to read is Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil by Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith wrote the Bone series, which came out when I was a kid, and it's just an amazing comic book series. And he hasn't really written much besides things from the Bone universe, but he did write one run of Shazam, so I really do want to see that, because he wrote a comic that was meant for kids to read, but has a lot of adult themes to it, and even as an adult reading it now, it's very, very good and very fun to read. So I feel like Shazam would make sense for him. So that is Comic of the Week, is Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil by Jeff Smith. Game of the Week, Injustice. Trust, we just played it. Talk about it.
I mean, honestly, I don't think we really need to talk about it because we're going to have a whole episode on it, but
Yeah.
as I believe I said in the episode, it's a fun game. If you have it, of course, you know. Um, I think a couple of the characters could have been done a little bit better, but
Sure.
overall they're very fun. Like fighting against, I think we went up against pretty much every one of the villains except for the DLC ones.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, Injustice, pretty classic fighter game. From what I enjoy, not what I enjoy, what I remember from the storyline, I remember it pretty good. It's been a while since I've played it, but yeah, the fighting and the characters hold up pretty well. Injustice 2 is very dope, has a lot of good characters, but Injustice 1 as a whole, pretty good. And yeah, you can check out, we're going to have a Trash Talk Let's Play where we play Shazam and we fight the DC universe of villains. And that was interesting to record.
Yeah, no, we were kind of terrible and kind of good at the same time.
Yeah. All right. One movie and a show. This is where we recommend a movie or a show to watch and to the audience and also to the cast members, and we can watch it or not. Some things to catch up on before we talk about what I saw recently. Here's some things I've been watching of other people's recommendations. From many weeks ago, Travis recommended Cowboy Bebop to me. It's an anime. It's kind of similar to the sci-fi hit Firefly, which I love, and he recommended it to me, and I checked it out. I'm almost at the end of the first season, which is the only season, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just like Firefly, only got one season.
how sad.
Yeah.
But this one's longer,
Yeah, this one is much
even though
longer.
the episodes are shorter.
Yeah, it kind of evens out. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop, pretty fun. I went in there with different expectations, but yeah, I went away and I was like, yeah, this is fun. It has a cool jazz theme to it. A lot of music is based off jazz, which I think really works in this.
As odd as it sounds, it does really.
Yeah, it does. I think it works very well in this.
What did you think about most of the villains? Is my question.
The villains, I thought they were fine. I feel like they were just kind of generic anime villains. I kind of like the heroes more.
Most people do, but
Like the main character, he was kind of like he was very charismatic, but also kind of a douchebag, but also very cool. And he was pretty great. I like the guy that worked with them, kind of the big bruiser. He's not in it a ton, and the girl that's with them is great. The little corgi doll, not doll, dog. That's with them.
Not gonna lie, that's actually my favorite character of the whole show.
The dog.
The corgi.
Yeah, the corgi's pretty great. Yeah, it's very fun, and it's kind of like Firefly. How Firefly was, it had a theme going through the whole show, like a storyline. But for the most part, every episode was its own story, and I felt like that was like this too. That every episode was kind of a new story and a new adventure for the characters.
I think it kind of works with those type of the anime and that particular show because, of course, they're set in space, so they could just travel from one planet that has a whole different mindset to another planet in like a few hours or whatever it takes, a couple days. So that's why every episode's allowed to be as different, but as similar as they are. Thanks for making all that noise.
And another show I've been catching up on is another thing Travis recommended at one of our episodes was Limitless, which is based off a movie with Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro in it. And the movie probably has a similar storyline, has to do with music and having enhanced brain activity. And they made a show off it. Bradley Cooper is in some of the episodes, but has a new character, and it probably continues the same story. Probably, I don't know. I didn't see the movie. I started watching the show. I watched a couple episodes. I haven't continued with it, but the episodes I saw, they're pretty interesting. The main character, he gets exposed to a drug, and he kind of gains enhanced brain activity. He can comprehend and learn things much more quick, and it kind of makes him into a super detective kind of. And there's a storyline, a mystery kind of, that was kind of hard for me to follow, but overall, it wasn't my kind of show to continue watching, but the 3 episodes I saw so I can review it were pretty interesting, and I liked what they did with the character's kind of powers he got during the drug activity, and yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Oh, I'm glad you liked at least those 3 episodes.
Yeah. Have you seen anything that anyone recommended or not recently?
I have
a lot of episodes to think about. Though.
Yeah, no, I actually forgot a lot of what people recommend.
Didn't you see some of the Viking show that Jose recommended?
I did. I actually saw it before he recommended it, so I only vaguely remember it, but I did like it. And I think I liked it. You probably shouldn't set that on the mic. Ugh. Um, gonna make it?
Ugh. I'll live.
Okay, good. I liked it. It wasn't a show that I was probably going to continue after the first. I believe I watched 4 episodes or so of it.
Okay.
But for those 4 episodes, it was very
Is
enjoyable.
it like Game of Thrones? Because a lot of people keep comparing it to Game of Thrones.
I'll
Is it just
say
Game of Thrones because of like maybe the violence? Maybe I don't know. I haven't seen it.
it has no. The whole thing has a very similar quality to it, simply because it's based a lot around like kind of like uh, hierarchies and like who's at the top
Oh,
of the Viking food chain and who's at the
yeah.
bottom, and also like of course they travel a lot because of Vikings did quite a bit of traveling. So they travel to new lands, meet a few different people,
Huh.
and try to conquer everything that they
Making it
can.
sounded pretty interesting. So you stopped after a couple episodes. So what makes it less interesting than Game of Thrones then? Well, Game of Thrones has dragons and stuff, but
Yeah, no, it doesn't have any magic elements, which I always love fantasy, so that's a
yeah,
big thing for me. And also, it's been a while, so I forget what my exact reasoning was for stopping, and maybe I just was watching a few other shows at the time.
sure.
But I think overall, like the story was good. It just wasn't as I guess in depth as a lot of like what you'd see in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because there it only follows a select few, not nearly as many characters as Game of Thrones does. And even though it only follows a select few, it still doesn't go into a lot of depth on each one. At least
Sure.
thus far in the show that I watched.
Okay. So it seems interesting, but not enough to keep you into it.
Not me personally, but I'm
But other
sure.
people will definitely check it
Yeah, I
out.
mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that do watch it.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about things that we've been watching recently that we're gonna recommend. Do you have anything off the top of your head? You want me to
No,
go?
I did not think of anything for this
Okay,
episode.
so I'm gonna continue with what I said last episode. I started watching the show Happy, and earlier this week I finished the show Happy. It's only 8 episodes long, and every single episode I was enjoying. It wasn't like some shows where you keep watching just to get to the end. Every single episode kept me engaged with it, and it continued the story, and it wasn't too short, and I don't feel like it was too long either at 8 episodes. And it was super enjoyable during all of it. Fun action, very fun characters, and enjoyable writing. After watching Umbrella Academy, which we didn't really care for that much, it was the superhero, or not superhero, the comic book TV adaptation show that I needed at that time, but didn't deserve.
Okay.
And I finished that. At some point, we got a lot of episodes planned, but at some point, I want to do a review of that first season because it was super fun to watch. I definitely recommend that to you and also to the audience. Happy, which is on Sci-Fi, but it's currently for view in pleasure on Netflix.
That is one I'm definitely gonna. I believe you showed me the first episode of that,
Yeah,
and just like as you said, I believe it was what 5 seconds or so into the movie. You just kind of whether you want to watch it or not, and I do want to finish that.
yeah, it's an amazing show because it knows exactly what it is. I told you when we watched, I was like, I knew from the first 30 seconds that I
30
was
seconds.
hooked.
Yeah.
And as I showed it to you, the character opens up, he's pissing blood into a urinal, and then in like a kind of dream sequence, he pulls out 2 pistols and shoots himself in the head. He starts gushing blood, and he starts dancing around a room while Chris's music plays in the background.
But they do it in like a very animated kind of style, even though the
Yeah.
show's live action, which made it all that much better.
And there's like Santa Claus elf like strippers dancing around him
Yeah, and it looks like a fountain coming from his head.
from his
or
head.
where
And
his
as
head's
soon
supposed
as I
to be.
saw that, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm in this show. I'm good.
I think for me, it was the first time I saw Happy.
Oh yeah.
I was done. I'm like, okay, I'll keep going.
Yep. Happy, the little blue unicorn that flies around. So was it when he was flying around through the city, or when he shows up, he starts talking
The
to?
first time we saw him.
Yeah, yeah. Great. He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show. No, definitely check that out. It's not very long of a show. It's only 8 episodes, 40 minutes each, but it keeps you engaged every episode. All the characters are so entertaining to watch, and it's tongue in cheek. They know they're not doing a super serious thing. They have fun with it. It's amazing. I love that show. I'm surprised I didn't watch it beforehand, but it's great. Do you have anything off the top of your head you can think of things to recommend?
Actually, I genuinely can't.
Can't think of anything? Okay. So that was one show and a movie. I guess it's one show that also recommended. Snail Mail. We're going to do a thoughts on the Joker trailer. I saw it. You haven't seen it yet. Let's talk about it. So we're going to pause this episode, and Travis and I are going to watch it. And we're back. Alright, so we just watched the trailer. I saw it a couple days ago when it came out. Travis has seen it, and now we just watched it on his phone. Travis, talk to us. Joker trailer.
I will say his attire is on point.
Yeah.
He looks absolutely like the Joker. His face, his paint, his hair,
The costume.
and the costume.
Yeah.
All of it seemed to be on point. So looks really good. And I believe, if I saw correctly from the trailer, he met Bruce Wayne at one point.
Yeah.
The young Bruce Wayne.
I did good eye because I didn't notice this, but I had to watch it in a Easter egg video about the trailer. But yeah, no, he meets the young Bruce Wayne at one point.
Yeah, which looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
The whole thing looks like definitely like a Joker take, a kind of gangster take on the Joker.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
But no, I liked it. I really
Yeah,
did.
very cool. It's 1980s. It's not another modern age film, and it looks like we're dealing with someone who has serious mental problems as he gets bullied and he eventually breaks and becomes like a gangster. Seems very interesting.
Yeah, he becomes a gangster and also the Joker at the same time. The Prince of Crime, I believe, is
Yeah,
his
the Prince
name.
of Crime. Yeah,
So,
the
no.
Clown Prince of Crime.
That one, yes.
Yeah,
So no, it looks really fun. It looks very bright and vibrant for the most part,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice because, of course, a lot of Batman movies are very dark and
Yeah.
sullied. So no, it looks really good. Joker looks really good, and I mean they didn't give a whole lot of details away about the
Yeah,
story,
sure.
but so far I'm down. I'm ready to see it.
And this was when we recorded our DC episode, which hopefully will release. You said this was the film that you're most surprised by and interested by. So did this continue with your anticipation for the film?
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it then. I am going to see it now.
Yeah.
No one can stop me.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless, of course, Warner Brothers decides to say "fuck you" and they don't release it.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
the only way they're going to stop me from
If
seeing
they
it.
like New Mutants this.
Yeah,
Which I guess is coming out now.
maybe.
Yeah, Disney said they're planning on releasing it, but they never gave the actual timetable when it's going to get released. It might get released on like Hulu for all I know.
It probably, knowing them, Hulu will be their best option.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, no, I'm going to see this as long as it gets released.
Yeah, very cool. All right, we'll wrap this up with some Daredevil news. As I said earlier in the show, I got some interesting news by a camera grip, a guy who kind of controls where the camera gets pushed and moved and stuff in a show. And he joined a Daredevil group, and he said that he would answer any questions about the Daredevil show. I looked him up. He's legit. And yeah, I found some interesting Daredevil news and also Marvel Netflix show news, which I didn't really know about. I'm going to have you react to it. So he worked on all 3 seasons of Jessica Jones, Punisher season 1 and 2, Daredevil season 3, Luke Cage season 1, and Iron Fist season 1. Someone asked him any chance of a revival of Daredevil. He said yes in 2 years when the rights expire, when the contracts allow it, and it'll go back to season 1 rates, which will save Disney millions. So there's a chance this might have been done over money, because since it's going to expire within 2 years, they could bring back all the cast and whatnot, but it'll be considered a season 1 show, so they'll be able to save money. It wouldn't be considered a season 4 show.
But so will it be made by Marvel, or I mean by Disney, or by Netflix?
No, it definitely won't be made by Netflix.
Okay, so
But wherever it goes, if it goes anywhere, it'll be considered a season 1 in terms of contracts, so they'll be able to save millions.
I see. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Someone asked him what was it like being attached to season 1 of Iron Fist, and he said Iron Fist was terrible because they rushed the production to save money, and look how that turned out. The problem was Disney had so much wealth that it didn't matter to them. They just wanted to create more content. And he then went on to say that was the worst job to work on, the worst schedule, the worst locations, just bad all around. They rushed the production that season in order to make Defenders done, which was a team up of all the Netflix shows. We killed ourselves making that season, and we all knew it was going to be horrible.
I could really see that. You can tell just by looking at it, it's rushed. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. The fact that they rushed it to make Defenders, which was what, 8 episodes? Not
Yeah,
even.
8 episodes.
Okay,
Yeah.
8 episodes. Kind of disappoints me because I think if you're gonna rush a show to make a show, you might as well make the second show good, like or
Yeah.
long enough to like go with a full storyline. I just didn't think Defenders was that show that they should have rushed it for.
Yeah, for having like a team up like adventure show, it was fine, but it wasn't like the big Avengers moment.
It wasn't. I mean, I was very disappointed by the villain still being the hand
Oh my god, the hands.
that never leave, and then like the fact that they didn't really give them enough time to get all connected and stuff before they started fighting together as a team was kind of disappointing. So
Yeah.
no, I wish they would have done better on that.
Someone asked in terms of plans for our shows if they heard if there were going to be other characters going to be used. Like for example, if like Moon Knight was going to be used for a show. He
Probably not.
said no, and crew members hear all the rumors, so probably not. Are you surprised?
I mean, as like I mean, I know Moon Knight's one of your favorites, and
Yeah.
he's a good like he's definitely one of my top ones
Yeah.
out of the Marvels. I am a bit disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised they wouldn't have worked on that. Moon Knight's a hard character to kind of tackle
Yeah.
for a live action show.
Honestly, I think there are a couple of characters that we don't see too much that they could have done without too much like backlash from it.
Sure.
As long as they put the effort that they put into Daredevil into it.
Who was your favorite person to work alongside with? Was someone they asked him. He said they were all great, to be honest. My personal favorite was John Bernenfall as Punisher. I cannot begin to say how legit he is. Mahershala Ali, who was Cottonmouth on Luke Cage season 1, was super humble and kind as well. Then he went on to win 2 Oscars. All the cast were super nice and acted like you and me. Vincent D'Onofrio, who is the Kingpin, acted like a crew member to us and not a movie star.
That kind of makes sense. Like just looking at them, you can kind of tell that's the vibe.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome that they do that, especially the actor who played Kingpin. Like the
Yeah.
fact that he's willing to be their friend, be helping them on set when they need it, is just like that's cool of them.
That is. Did any of the actors stay in character between shots, is what someone asked. Or was there anyone particular intense to work with? He said the Punisher was the Punisher. Like, don't fuck with that guy.
I kind of could see it. He like genuinely in any movie I've ever seen him, he always looks ex-military.
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't change from being the Punisher on or offset doesn't surprise me in the least bit.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was still cool to work with, even being as intimidating was kind of awesome.
Yeah, that is. All right. Was there any discussion about making Billy Russo's face more scarred than it was for season 2? And if the actor who played him wanted to have more scars? I know this is something you brought up during a Punisher review.
It was something I was disappointed about.
He said, I'm sure that it was a money issue. It's all about the cost. VFX scars are way too expensive to put in every shot, and practical makeup takes forever to do.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to shoot shot after shot and he can never change his makeup,
Yeah.
it's kind of pointless to do it over and over again all the time.
And I bet having for a show rather than a movie, which movies are shoot order, would probably it was probably a money issue. I bet. Yeah. Someone said, all I want to say is when the show is returned, I hope you guys return, referring to his crew, because he referred to his crew working together as a team.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a single time there was bad camera work. I don't really think.
Yeah, no, very good.
Even for the rushed one.
Iron Fist.
Sorry,
You say One Punch. A One Punch Man would have been dope.
It would have been, but Iron Fist. Even that, like, even though it was rushed, the camera work was still on point all the time, and I got to respect him. Whoever I forget what this guy's name was.
I'm not gonna put his name down.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, got to give him credits to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when this person said, "I hope you guys return," this is what he said, which is kind of nice, but also kind of sad. When they canceled the shows, they really broke apart our crew family. We had all been working on all these shows for 4 years, and it was pretty sad. Some of us were working together on different shows now, but it's not the same. But then there's the fact that the Marvel Netflix shows were the hardest to work on. The most overnights, the most weekends lost, and Disney being notorious for cost saving and making our jobs even harder than it had been. But in the end, it was worth seeing it once it finally went up.
That is really nice, but yeah, as you said, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, no, it is. All right, yeah, that's everything that he broke down for the most part. With one bit of news I'm gonna have you react to before we wrap up the show. How are we doing time? Oh, we're doing all right. We're gonna talk about some Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, is it finally coming out?
Yeah, it actually they released 2 trailers to a Comic Con convention.
But nowhere else.
Nowhere else yet. It's to make it so the Comic Con people feel special,
I
but
realize.
which means that within a week or two, a Sonic the Hedgehog trailer is coming out.
I could care less.
I got descriptions of the trailer though, so I was able to obviously see it, but people broke down what happened in the trailer. All right,
And was it taken at 100 miles per hour like throughout the entire movie?
no.
Okay, then I could care less.
The first Sonic the Hedgehog movie footage was unveiled by Paramount during their CinemaCon presentation. They unveiled the Sonic trailer, which begins with James Marsden. He plays Teddy in Westworld. He plays a cop called Tom sitting on the side of a country road with a speedometer when Sonic the Hedgehog zooms by at 900 miles an hour. This trailer cuts to a first person shot of Sonic running, which I know when we did our first episode of this show, I talked about how I wanted the whole movie to be first person
Yeah.
as Sonic the Hedgehog ran around and made the whole audience nauseous. Um, then back to a chase sequence as Tom follows Sonic, finally catching up to him in a shed. Sonic tells Tom, the policeman, he needs to save the planet, and the trailer further features futuristic, potentially alien ships. The trailer also includes Coolio's Gangster's Paradise as a musical cue,
That sounds awful.
and plenty of wisecracks from Sonic, included a joke about taking 9,000 steps in a day. And also, I heard from someone else, it wasn't part of this report, he also makes a joke about breastfeeding.
Isn't he male?
I
Or
think so.
am I wrong?
No, I think he is.
So why is he breastfeeding?
I
Oh,
don't know.
wait. No, that's just wrong.
I don't know, Travis.
Okay. All right,
I'm just reporting what I'm reading.
first of all, my biggest concern with this so far, the cop in a car that has probably an average speed of 120 miles per hour
At tops, yeah.
at tops, caught up to Sonic the Hedgehog, who was going 900 miles per hour, and somehow caught him in a shed.
Yeah, so this is awkward. Hey, this is Austin. Hopefully you are enjoying the episode so far. Yeah, I'm sorry about our computer had a little bit issue, so it cut out the last couple minutes of the show, but basically wrapped up by saying that the Sonic news sounded dumb as we thought it would be. And we said that if you liked the episode, go check us out on iTunes, Facebook, uh, Instagram, Twitter is where we post everything. But we also post episodes themselves on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Podbean. Give us a like and a follow to let us know that you're watching, and we will talk to you next time on Trash Talk Podcast.